let's get into the AP Top 25, you guys, because this is driving me crazy. Jake and I, while we were driving back, I bought the winning Powerball tickets.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry to inform you.
Yeah,
now.
the show's not going to be going on much longer because we just won like $1 gazillion, okay?
So I spend my money on the ticket, and this guy over here is like, "Yeah, when you win, you're giving me $50 million."
Can you do something for me?
Oh yeah, let me just peel you off a couple $1 million bills.
Yeah, why wouldn't you, dude? You can afford it.
Anyway, the point is, we were talking about the AP Top 25 today. And this really is frustrating to me because what you're looking at is the bar that is set on making the college football playoff.
Right.
And I look at some of these rankings, and I ask you just point blank, are you really telling me, go down to number 11. Let's start with Alabama. Are you really telling me that Alabama should be ranked behind USC, who's given up 82 points in the last 2 games?
Because it's garbage.
They've given up 82 points. You're telling me they should be ranked behind Alabama, who just won at College Station with Jalen Milroe as their starting quarterback. It's preposterous.
Yeah.
It's brutal. You're telling me that Oklahoma, who I believe has the strongest college football playoff resume of anybody on this board,
100%.
they have got the quality win that nobody else can claim. Oh, that's right. Texas can claim it, but they lost to Oklahoma. Oklahoma is ranked 5th behind Florida State, who had to hang on to beat Clemson. They're ranked 5th behind Ohio State, whose lone win now doesn't look that great because it's Notre Dame.
Oh.
They're ranked 5th behind number 2, Michigan, who hasn't played anybody and probably won't until November 11th. And then you have Georgia, who went on the road and sputtered at Auburn. Tell me how. And listen, you're the 2-time back-to-back national champion Georgia Bulldogs. I'm down.
100%.
Hey, man, I'm here for it.
100%.
Until they lose, they're number 1.
100%.
Oklahoma should be number 2. They have a much better resume, like way better resume than Michigan. They have a better resume than Florida State, yet they're ranked 5th. And it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, it's disrespectful to say the least.
You also look at, look at some of the other teams here. You look at Washington and Oregon. What has Oregon done to be 8th? Explain to me, how is Oregon 8th here? And you look at the job that Oregon has done, going to Lubbock and beating Texas Tech. And I don't care what you want to say about Texas Tech this year. You go on the road to Lubbock and you win 38-30, and that is the only competitive game you've played all year? Where you have thumped Stanford, you thumped Colorado, you thumped Hawaii, you dropped 81 on Portland.
Yeah, and I think the thing that stands out is not only were these games not competitive, dude, you held 3 of your 5 opponents to single digits. Like, that's domination by any standard.
And I'm trying to figure out, okay, maybe, it's just that the Big Ten is so good because Penn State, I mean, they've beaten West Virginia, and that win, hey, man, that win looks better and better every week.
Yep.
That West Virginia pisses off the rest of the Big 12. That win looks better and better. Delaware at Illinois, 31-0 over Iowa, and they beat Northwestern. Somebody make me the case that Oregon should be ranked behind Penn State? That Washington should be ranked behind Penn State?
Yeah, and I think, the issue here is kind of the point you've been making for, as long as I can remember, which is we've just thrown out strength of schedule. It's much more.
Doesn't matter.
We're much more, it seems like, in today's day and age, going off of narrative, meaning, okay, well, like I saw a thing today, a graphic today, very similar to this, talking about, defensive rankings. Like, hey, there's tiers in college football, the best teams. And the top tier by this graphic was Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. And this was a major television network's ranking. And so I'm sitting here saying, okay, so if people nationally think that the Big Ten has some of the best defenses in the country, And they also cannot get away from the fact that the Big Ten teams really haven't played too many people, excluding Ohio State with that Notre Dame game, which obviously, like he just said, doesn't look as good now. Like, even still, how are all these Big Ten teams up front? And so then I get to, okay, where we started with Alabama. So if we're going to go off narrative and we're going to do that with the Big Ten, why are we not doing it with the SEC? Because,
I don't know.
Because by anybody's standard, if we take the SEC's strength of schedule away, they are still better than you. Look at the recruiting classes. Look at who the head coaches are. Look at their resumes the past few years. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where the love for the Big Ten comes from.
And here's the last point, and then I want your comments. Is the AP Top 25 a credible standard that the college football playoff should use? How is Notre Dame still ranked in the top 25? The way you've lost, to whom you've lost.
Yeah.
How are you still ranked in the top 25? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because there's no bigger homer of the domer than me. And I'm telling you, they're not one of the 25 best teams in the country. They're not as good as LSU.
No.
I do not believe they're as good as Kansas, who, by the way, Bill Self's decision comes down tomorrow, according to Pat Forty. That's going to be a bomb. They're certainly not, like, you look at Washington State. I think Notre Dame and Washington State are very close.
Washington State would give Notre Dame a hell of a game.
Notre Dame is not one of the 25 best teams in the country, period.
Yeah.
Point blank. And I just don't understand how it continues to happen.
Well, and I look really quick. I know we get the comments, but like, look at a team like Ole Miss. Like, Ole Miss is a good SEC team this year, and nobody's talking about them, and it's because their brand is not as big as Ohio State and Michigan.
And look at their loss. Who is their one loss? At Alabama, 24-10.
So by traditional standards, that is what we call a good loss on your resume.
And then you bounce back and you beat LSU 55-49. And, yeah, it makes me crazy that this is the standard that we use to determine who goes to the college football playoff.
And you know what it does? It puts bias in control. So the people who are deciding, who are voting on this, you're telling me the same people who vote on the AP Top 25 are not having strong relationships with the College Football Playoff Committee? Come on, dude. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid.
Absolutely.
Don't be naive, dude.
And to me, it's one of those things where I just don't think that you can, like, how's Miami ranked?
Yeah.
How's Miami in the AP Top 25?
Yeah.
Right? I look at, like, at least for Utah, and I think Utah is one of those teams that is borderline one of the 25 best teams in the country based on how they have performed on the field. They have been unimpressive offensively.
Right.
But they've still got wins over UCLA, Baylor, and Florida. And they beat Baylor at Baylor in Waco. That's a good win.
Yeah, it is.
They have a resume. It sucks out loud that they got thumped by Oregon State. They were never in danger of winning that game.
Yeah.
They were never in danger of winning that game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is the AP Top 25 credible? While you consider that, please give us a thumbs up. Please hit the like button. We are rapidly approaching on the program today 40,000 subscribers. We're at 39,318. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider it. We've just got about 682 to go to get to 40,000. We would love to have you guys on board the channel. Our comment section every single day is brought to you by our good friends at Bucked Up. Here is the link. A lot of people said they could not find the link to the Buckshot. Yes, I read your DMs. There's the link to the Buckshot. Just copy and paste that, you guys, and get 6 free Buckshots. We need 5 more people to do that before the show is over in an hour and 45 minutes. We need 5 more people to go and get Buckshots. Hook it up. BuckedUp.com, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. Let's see. Who have we not heard from today? Kyle Wilson, Monty, Oregon State being ranked behind Ole Miss and Louisville makes no sense. I mean, look, I think Oregon State. What's Oregon State's resume? The problem is you lost to Washington State. But your resume is San Jose State, UC Davis, San Diego State, Utah, and Cal.
Mm-hmm.
And Utah, the problem is the Utah loss.
It's handicapped now because of,
I'm curious how valuable the win over Utah is. And I think the other question is, it's odd that your fate is tied together, I guess, but how much respect nationally is Washington State getting?
Well, I think that they don't get, their fair share of respect, certainly. But they are a ranked team.
They are.
And I think that just factually speaking, that makes it fine. You know what I mean? That makes it so you can't be like, oh, well, hey, that situation's going to be tough on you. Like, we can't do that. They're a ranked team.
Yeah. And I look at UCLA and I say, well, we're going to find out Saturday.
Yeah.
Because you got to go to Corvallis and you got to win. And UCLA is physical, and it'll be very interesting to see how Oregon State and UCLA come out of that, because the loser of that game is probably going to be out of the top 25.
But, I'll apply the same logic. You look at Oregon State, and they've held several of their opponents to single digits. Now, I know it's UC Davis and San Diego State, single digits, but the Utah win was single digits, and Utah is respected.
There's just not that.
Yeah, you don't have the Alabama win that Texas had. You don't have the Texas win that Oklahoma has. You don't have
Notre Dame that Ohio State has.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah.
The best part and the worst part about the Pac-12 is that nobody sees you, and you guys beat the hell out of each other. That's the best part and the worst part, right? The best part is we get really good football in the Pac-12. We have the best quarterback conference in the country, but nobody sees it. So when Utah loses, it's like, all right, well, we're done voting for Utah now.
But at the same time,
Oregon State lost. Yeah, we're done voting for Oregon. Oh, Washington. Yeah, why did I vote for Washington State? Honest to goodness, that's the conversation, because you have soccer writers that cover MLS in Minneapolis who don't cover football with an AP vote. And you have guys like even Brett McMurphy. He's got Florida State third or something.
He's had Florida State number 1 overall for a while, and I think now he has them third. Come on.
I'm not telling you that Oregon State is a bad football team, because there's no way, shape, or form you can say that, because they're not. If you've listened to this show for 5 minutes, I respect the hell out of them. But I look at a lot of these other teams in this ranking. Look at the stories being told, right? You look at Oklahoma, you look at the brands that get the benefit of the doubt. Okay, if I said Penn State's living on the benefit of the doubt, right? Michigan's living on the benefit of the doubt. Oregon should be. I'm telling you, Oregon should probably be 6th. Penn State should probably be 8th. I mean, if we're, Texas is lucky to be 9th after that loss.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be in the top 5 by the time it's all said and done. And they're going to get a rematch with Oklahoma, I would imagine. But I think this is far, far from over. Maury Alvarez. Maury, where you been to? Good to see you. Hey, guys, I just want to confirm that I am not Gumby. Oh, I was worried. Maury Alvarez, the great Floridian on the program. Maury, good to see you. Hope the kids are good. Brandon Moore, West Virginia playing for a chance to play in the Big 12 championship, proving everybody wrong.
Hey.
Undisputed. There's no other way to phrase that.
Yeah, opportunities in front of them, man. Keep working.
Now, let's be honest. I mean, how long does this run continue? I think it's going to be really difficult. If you are West Virginia, I mean, you look at what's in front of West Virginia, it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. But enjoy the ride. You're 2-0 in the conference, right? But you've got Houston this weekend on the road, Oklahoma State at UCF. UCF with the injuries, that's not as daunting. BYU at home, but that's right. Then you got to go to Oklahoma, and that's in November. Cincinnati at Baylor. I mean, I think you have all of your work is ahead of you here.
Yeah.
But beating TCU was a huge step in the right direction. And again, it's what I said yesterday. I don't care who TCU is or what they were supposed to be. West Virginia won the game.
Yep.
West Virginia won the game. There's no way to spin that.
We weren't couching it with TCU when Colorado won that game.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination. Jeremy Callahan, West Virginia won't win another game. I don't know. Houston's
not great.
Houston's been really disappointing. Oklahoma State's very vulnerable. UCF is just being decimated by injuries. I think BYU, being in Morgantown, that's a win. I would give that to West Virginia if all things were equal, but that game's in November. October traditionally either makes or breaks you. And if you look at Houston and Oklahoma State and then UCF, two of those three on the road, we're going to find out who West Virginia is.
Yep.
Period. I think they win several games. I am not here to I'm they're going to have to earn my disrespect because I think what Neil Brown has done nothing short of miracle working. Mike Smith says yes. Phenomenal Hebrew. We know for a fact Georgia should not be ranked number 1. I could give a bleep what they have done for 2 years. I don't disagree.
Yeah, the problem is they have 2 national
But
championships.
at least you understand
dude.
it.
Yeah,
at least you understand it.
Yeah.
Right? At least you understand it. Marcus says TCU is not good. No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Not good at all. Jim Choi, I just paid $5.95 shipping for Bucked Up samplers. Bucked Up, baby. Appreciate you doing that. We need one more person to go get the samples, you guys. One more person. And then as soon as that one more person does it, I'll release the new sampler offering. And it's awesome, you guys. J.K. Marshall says Brett McMurphy knows what's up. Okay. Brett McMurphy knows a hell of a lot more than I do about college football. He knows more than I'll ever know. But I look at his, he's got Florida State 3rd. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, he's Georgia 1, Oklahoma 2, hell of a lot of respect for that. Florida State 3. And Florida State ahead of Oregon, Penn State, Washington, Ohio State, Michigan. And I'll go back to what we've said about Florida State. And you guys be the litmus test in the comment section. How good is Florida State? Because, bros, I don't see it. I look at Florida State. Yes, they are undefeated. But you went to the wire with a really mid Clemson team, and you needed overtime.
Yes.
And I look at Jordan Travis. He was massively disappointing in that game. And the truth is, Florida State could have won that game by 3 touchdowns. He couldn't execute. Could not execute. And I think the other thing that sucks is about where Florida State is right now, and I haven't seen an update on Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't know what Johnny Wilson's situation is and how healthy he's going to be, but if he's done, they're done. Because I'm telling you, all this Jordan Travis for Heisman.
Yeah, no.
Jordan Travis. His name is Jordan Travis. Like, okay, cool. Where's Dylan Gabriel? His name's Dylan Gabriel. Where is he? Because he, in my opinion, Dylan Gabriel, it's time that he gets the respect that he's earned. Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback at Oklahoma, deserves the respect. And with all due respect, in reality, all due respect, Jordan Travis isn't a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yeah.
He is
all due
simply
respect.
not. He is simply not.
Yeah.
I'm not here for it. Jaron Eccles, who's been a member for 9 months.
Let's go, baby.
Makes a great point. The beloved, my are we, the Chicago Blackhawks. Who else is going to be blasting Chelsea Dagger tonight? When Bedard scores his first goal. Go Blackhawks, baby. Also, I am also not Gumby. There's so many alsos in that. I cannot wait. That's my dude.
We got
Connor
about 90 minutes.
Connor Bedard's my dude. All of my hopes and dreams, testicularly and otherwise, are hanging on Connor Bedard's hockey stick blade. I need
Stay
it.
hard.
I want it. I am desperate for the Blackhawks to win again.
I want it.
Because I ain't got the Cubs, the Bears.
The Bears.
Please, God, let the Bulls be good.
Yeah.
And look, Jerry Krause from heaven,
Please.
enjoy those donuts, all of the candy. It's all yours, sir. Please let the Bulls win. Drop some Phil Jackson fairy dust on top of United Center and let the Bulls win. Undefeated at home this year. Whew. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Jim Choi, Georgia is back-to-back champs. They are. They are. Ron Nolan, factually speaking, it makes it fun. Does the poll reflect facts? Is the fact question? It's a joke. Factually speaking, it's fun. Jakey two holes. Okay. I couldn't follow that. Mike C. Rodriguez, a member of the program. Mine was delivered today. Blood Raz is great. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Blood Raz is great. I'm telling you. You guys, the samples, and I'll check in a minute. And then, well, if and I'm sure we had to have gotten there. They are great. Jeff Woodworth, I'll get the sampler under Gumby's name since I already got one.
There you go. There you go.
OG Gary, Brett McMurphy's a fraud. Brett's a good dude, and he's a really sharp foot. Why do you not? What did he do to you?
He's not a fraud. I do disagree with his Florida State opinion, but he's not a fraud.
The Buffalo Hunter, Utah shouldn't be ranked higher than 16 until they find a competent offense. And also, can we please stop talking about Cam Rising's knee? His doctor went on the record with The Athletic with Cam's permission. That's where it ends. He had a complete blowout of his knee, and the surgery was 9 months ago. That's a 12-month injury minimum. Let the kid live his life. Let him live his life. And I agree. I think Utah, and I love Kyle Whittingham and a lot of respect for him. I think Utah is in a situation where they're lucky to be 16th because that offense is massively unimpressive. Massively unimpressive. Yeah. That is the reality of it.
Yeah.
Tanner Plummer, FSU is good, but they're not third. No, they're not. They are not third. Tanner, I totally agree. They are not third. Any stretch of the imagination. Buffalo Hunter, Duck season offense kept screwing the defense over. 21 points was lucky. Okay. James, from what I am hearing out of Stillwater, many Oklahoma State players look at this next game with KU as a revenge game. The Pokes are angry about what happened last year.
Hey, just really quick, what happened to the walkout that was going to happen?
Yeah, where did the mass exodus to the transfer portal go?
Well, where did that? What happened with that, man?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'd also remind people, Jalen Daniels appears to be just fine.
Yeah, dude.
Did anybody see what he did? Come on, man.
You're so fucked.
He'll be just fine.
Yeah.
I think he will be fine. I think he will be, I hope, because they're going to need it. They're going to need it.
Look, he's no Will Howard, but he'll do.
And Jason Bean has proven he's more than capable. But Jalen Daniels will be fine.
Yeah.
And if you can get any semblance of offense from Jason Bean, we're going to have a ball game. Aaron Wilson says Buck shots are great. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Phenomenal. Let's see. The Christie. I enjoy the Colorado in a New Year's Six Bowl tweets. Please.
They'll be eligible. Not for New Year's Six, though.
Not for New Year's Six. Mike Smith, waiting for the newest member named Cam Rising's knee. Yes.
Damn, bro.
Exactly. Corey Erickson, what's up, Corey? Good to see you. Got my sample pack yesterday evening. About to use the first one. Hit it, man.
Do it, man. Take it and then comment again and tell us what you think.
Yeah, I think it makes a difference. Hawkeye fan in Indy. Monty, the devil just informed me he cannot have the Blackhawks go undefeated at home. He cannot do the impossible.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
They're winning the Stanley Cup. They're never going to trail the entire season.
God bless.
It's never going to happen. They're amazing. Bryce Martin, so Cam Rising's not playing this year. Does he get a medical red shirt? I think he will play this season when he's ready. And I don't believe that he's a medical red shirt candidate because he is not a young guy. I think we all need to remember that. And I think it's very simply a thing where you cannot rush the kid back because he's playing for more than the honor of the Utes.
What do you think he's doing, man? He's rehabbing his knee so that he can get to the combine healthy and 100%. That's all that matters for him right now. Honestly,
He's 24 years old, you guys. He's not young. He is not young at all. USC number 10 overrated. I agree.
Agreed.
I totally, and we just talked about this. Like, how do you have USC ranked ahead of Alabama and Ole Miss? And arguably, now Louisville with the win over Notre Dame, but we need to see where Notre Dame goes. They should not be ranked either. But, I mean, if you're looking at, like, Oregon State's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How is SC even ahead of Oregon State? Because Oregon State's defense is way better, and Oregon State's shown an ability to put up 50 points. And I know it was Cal. Totally get it. But still.
Let's relax a little bit. I think Oregon State is a borderline top 10 team, which is why they're 14th. I think Oregon State needs to absolutely positively kick wholesale ass every single chance they get.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of distractions. And again, I just point out that when you're Oregon State and you look at the schedule this week, look at the schedule in college football, right? You look at USC Notre Dame. USC's got another chance. They've given up 82 points in their last two games. Yet they're playing Notre Dame in South Bend. If they win that game, dude, how huge is that for SC?
Yeah.
It's massive, right? And I look at some of the other, like Ohio State and Purdue, Michigan against Indiana. Who cares? Nobody's going to watch that game.
No.
Bama hosting Arkansas. Nobody's going to watch that game. I shouldn't say nobody. But look at Penn State, UMass.
Neat.
And yet they're still going to be ranked ahead of Oregon. And they're still going to be ranked ahead of SC.
Let's say Oregon beats Washington. I mean, don't you have to move them up in the rankings?
Yeah, and everybody's going to be watching it, and it's the game of the week, certainly. Maybe not. I say if that game were at Autzen, I would have no doubt about it. But I look at Washington and Michael Penix, and I look at the mass hysteria that is awaiting Oregon, and that place is going to be lit. It's sold out. I mean, it's a great place to play a football game. I still think Oregon's a better football team. That doesn't mean they're going to win. But Dan Lanning has those dudes walking around with hammers and sickles, dude. They want to punch you in the mouth.
100%.
They don't want to be finesse and go over the top and look pretty. They want to run your ass over. And that's Dan Lanning football.
And that's what it's going to take to win.
And they do it well. Nobody has really put the beat down on Michael Penix yet this year. And I think Washington's one of the most underrated teams. That is a game you better not miss. It's 1:30 on ABC. 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. But you look at the rest of the top 25, there aren't a whole lot of LSU, Auburn. Who cares? Miami, North Carolina, who cares?
What's going to happen when Auburn loses to LSU? We're going to weaken Georgia's schedule a little more.
But my point on Oregon State is you better not struggle with UCLA. You're at you're in Corvallis at Reser. You better not struggle with UCLA.
Yeah.
Problem is you're going to struggle with UCLA because they are physical on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And their defense is very good. Their defense is it's another test. It's another test for DJ. No interceptions in this game. You want to win this game, he cannot throw a pick. Period, point blank. That's it. That's the whole thing. Cannot throw a pick in any way, shape, or form. Man, I don't know why, but it is just bot season.
Hey, man.
Dude.
Hey.
Like, it is remarkable
Yeah.
how strong the bots have become.
The bots are out in force today, man. Filling up the chat.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, I think that's going to be one of the games of the week. I think it is. Johnny Gonzalez says Gonzalez. Dan Landing will not go good this weekend, and if it does, look out, playoff.
Do you know who Dan Landing is?
Never heard of Dan Landing.
I don't.
Neither is Coach Prime.
Yeah, I don't know who Dan Landing is.
Dan Lanning.
Oh,
I am not the Batman. Dan Landing. Listen, Johnny, if Oregon loses, you come in here on Monday and you call him Dan Landing. Because don't worry about it. Duck season won't be here if they lose.
that's right.
They won't be here. You know. Lamont Tucker. Texas shouldn't be 9. They should be at least 6. You're punishing them for a good loss. There's no such thing as a good loss in those big games. Is it, you know.
I mean, you admit they need to fall in the rankings. So, again, you're not out of the top 10. I think that was your reward.
Yeah. Christopher Shannon, UCLA's got a defense, indeed. Indeed. Look at that. Greg Hawkins. OG Gary, there are no expectations for this season anymore. Enjoy the ride. You're totally right. There are 0 expectations.
Seriously.
And it's really unfortunate because I think if Cam and Brant Keithy had been healthy, this is a very different team.
Yeah.
Cam Rising, and I know everybody forgets because, again, nobody watches Utah football. Cam Rising is a dynamic, multifaceted, very talented quarterback. Arguably the best in the conference. And injuries take that from you.
Yeah.
You know, like it sucks. AI is taking over, KF says.
No, he's retired. He's not playing anymore.
AI. Allen Iverson.
See what I did there?
It's fine. Arizona Sun Salad. Don't sleep on my AF Flyboys. They going to get a New Year's 6. Okay. Bot flies replicating. I hope you are wrong. Bryce Martin. So are we now? Hello. So are we no longer faulting Washington for the Arizona game, right? Well, I think hasn't Arizona proven to be a pretty good team.
What do you mean faulting them for it? I mean, what
do you mean by that?
Like, are we saying that they should be punished because they won the game 31-24?
Yeah,
at Arizona? Like,
that's a good win. I don't know that I would be faulting. I mean,
you need to understand that Arizona is an improved team. They are not just some awful team anymore.
And you have to understand that game is a trap game, going home to Oregon. And then look at what they did to Boise, Tulsa, Michigan State, and Cal. I mean, absolutely dismembered them. Dismembered's probably a little strong.
You know.
And Penix is completing 75% of his passes. Hello?
Like, what are we talking about, man?
That's unreal. 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Come on.
I mean, the guy he's absolutely a stud. And for a guy that stands in the pocket and delivers the football, I love the guy. I think Michael Penix is going to be a Sunday quarterback. There is no question in my mind about that. Jeff Woodworth, I want to see Miami Notre Dame. Which coach screws it up worst at the end of the game, dudes? Why?
I mean, you only need 10 guys on the field to get behind Miami's defense, so it's fine.
My bad.
Sorry about that. You had 4? No. All right, let me check the Bucked Up because I know a lot of people want the Shaker Cup. So let me check the Bucked Up, and we are at Have We Done It? Have we done it?
Hello.
Have we done it?
Hello.
And hello. I'm just
Hello.
It takes time. But I believe we have done it. So yes, we have done it. We have officially done it.
Boom.
You guys are freaking studs. All right. Let me tee up the link to give you guys out of here. Let me tee up the link to get you guys. Where is it? Hello.
Is it me you're looking for?
I'll give you guys a shaker.
Okay.
And 3 free samples and the shaker. And I'm telling you that the shaker is absolutely
Dude, their shaker game is real.
It is
so good.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
You know
blender balls? You know what blender balls are, everyone in the chat? So you know how every other shaker cup, the blender ball is just in the cup, like it's just loose shaking around? Yeah, no, not with bucked up shakers. Wow, that's a nice beat, dude.
No, I'm
dude,
gonna.
Were you vibing over there?
Okay, free. I'm commenting it into the show right now.
Okay.
You guys.
We're commenting. Okay,
you can go. Whoa. Hello. Whoa, bro. You can go and get that free shaker sample right there.
So I said, yeah.
You get a shaker and 3 free samples of bucked up sups. I would highly recommend, if you're a gym guy, go get their absolutely go get their pre-workouts. They are fantastic. Hook it up, a free shaker, and it again, I'm telling you, it's the best shaker you've ever had. Go get it, free shaker, free supplement samples. Hook it up. Aaron Wilson says 2 holes blending balls.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at the gym this morning, and I did see the biggest, I think it was called the Hydrator.
Whoa.
And it was a water bottle that had to be the size of like two. No. It's not that small.
My bad.
It's at least the size of 2 full regulation basketballs. The thing was,
Can you measure it?
and this dude's just walking around with it. And it's so heavy because it was full, he has to like grab it. And
Yeah, right.
I'm not doing that. The Buffalo Hunter says drink shaker, not to be confused with Herbert and Booker shakers. Exactly right. Hey, Bear, please. Hey, Bear. Shaker, I got a Vitamix. It's all good. Oh, dude.
You know.
The shaker cups are amazing. The outsourced to ice shaker, right? Exactly right. OG Gary says their shakers are next level. Yes, they are.
100%, dude.
Bucked Up doesn't make anything that's bad, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Daniel Dixon says, I got mine in the mail today.
Let's go.
Hook it up. Richard Salino, even if Rising and Keithy play against Oregon, they will lose.
I disagree.
I don't agree with that. I think that you don't get to where Utah's been and lay down for anybody. And if you look at, they beat Oregon State if Cam Rising plays. They simply could not move the football because they could not make decisions.
You don't have a guy at quarterback who's ready to play Oregon State, man, who's ready to be in that environment. And you just don't.
And Rice-Eccles Stadium, again, I will evangelize for it until the end of time. Rice-Eccles Stadium is just as good a home field advantage as Autzen is. It is loud. It shakes. You watch their home games, especially night games. You watch their home games, and you see the sideline reporters unable to hear because it's ear piercing. It is so loud.